Na 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 na. Light it up like dynamite. Woo! Na 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 na. Light it up like dynamite.
Hey, buddy, you working on a new song for your band with Jane?
Oh, it's dynamite. You know, BTS.
Oh, I've heard a lot about them, and I've heard that song before. It's really catchy.
Oh, they are so hot right now.
I know they've got like 700 million views
Yeah.
on YouTube. Actually, by now it's probably like 1
Oh
billion.
my gosh, I just love them so much. And it's so catchy, and I just want to be part of the band.
You know, like I'm too old to be a part of like that movement in the sense that like it didn't hit me exactly at the right age. But from what I've seen, they actually seem really awesome. So I'm glad you're listening to it,
Well, thanks.
even
Thanks,
if you were a little
Daniel.
loud.
Well, you know, I like to turn up the volume.
It's funny.
All the way up to 11.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the word volume
It is.
because that is the name of the math concept we're going to be covering today.
What?
Yeah, we're going to cover the introduction to volume, how the formula works, and everything like
Oh,
that.
I thought we were covering dynamite.
Well, I mean, if you want to keep humming that during the lesson, I'm not going to be upset. And I know a lot of my students not going to be upset either.
Yeah, it's stuck right in here, circling around.
I mean, one of the marks of a great pop song is the ability to A, get stuck in your head,
Yeah.
and B, not really bother you that much.
It's
when
real
it's stuck in your
impressive
head.
because I don't even have ears, and it's an earworm.
I know. I've had Call Me Maybe stuck in my head for like 8 years, and I'm
Don't
fine
say
with it.
those words. It's gonna get stuck. No, dynamite. I can't get Call Me Maybe in there. No, that was in there for years.
I mean, it's been the song of the summer for like 8 straight years.
No, gotta keep singing dynamite.
Well, maybe Dynamite's the new song of the summer, even though summer's
All right.
already over. But we can carry it over into
All
2021.
right, so we're working on volume.
We are. So what does volume mean?
I don't know. Loudness.
Well, in that sense, it does. You can turn up the volume on something. But when
Yeah.
we talk about volume as a math concept, we are actually building on area. Do you remember how area worked?
Like how much space was inside of something.
Exactly. When you multiply length times
Yeah.
width. Well, volume is going to bring a new dimension.
Oh!
The third dimension.
Like time travel?
Kind of, but no.
Wait, no, that's fourth.
Yeah, no. We're going to we're just going to bring height into the equation.
Oh.
So you ready to figure out how it works?
Yes. Light this up like dynamite. Volume!
Let's do it. Okay, so to get the volume of a shape, and in this case, we're going to go with a right rectangular prism. You can get the volume of other shapes, but for now, we're only going to go with a right rectangular prism. Now, what do you notice about this shape that if we were doing area would be different?
Well, first thing I notice is I would call it a cube, too.
Right.
I never heard of that correct name. Right rectangular prism.
So for a cube, all the side lengths would have to be the exact same length, but we're not going to do that in this case. They look pretty close, right?
So that's why you didn't call it a cube.
That's right. If it was a cube,
Oh.
but like, what do you notice? What's the difference between a square and a cube?
Well, I mean, a square just has the one side on the front, and that's it.
It's flat, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is what?
Well, the way you drew it, very nicely, it looks like it's got more sides, more faces. Is that what they're called?
It is what they are
Okay.
called. They're called faces or surfaces, yes.
Got more faces.
Surfaces. But, so what I want to talk about is like how, you know, like let's say you go to a movie and the things pop out of the screen at you. What's that called?
Oh, you mean it looks three-dimensional.
Exactly, three-dimensional, because we have length
Oh.
and width, which is how we get area, right? Well, we bring in a third dimension with volume, and that's called height. How tall something is, okay?
Oh.
Here's a square, but we've extended it out and made it into a prism. In this case, a right rectangular prism, because it's rectangles and it's right angles, okay?
Oh.
You can have a prism of any shape, but in this case, we're just going to be dealing with rectangles here in 5th grade.
Right. It looks
Okay.
like I can reach in there and just grab it.
Okay, so the formula, like in area, we get length times width, right? So in volume, we do length times width times height. It just means you multiply all three side lengths. And what you're figuring out is how much can fit into something. Like the volume of a song is how much can fit into your ears. Well, this would be how much can fit into a container, okay? So when we talk about volume, we are referring to how much goes into something. Usually, in everyday life, volume refers to liquids. Okay, so like
Yeah, because it fills up all the space.
right, like units of capacity, like gallons and quarts and things like that,
Yeah.
which we're going to talk about later. Okay, but in this case, we're just going to go with side lengths. So what we'd say here, let's say this was 3 feet by 2 feet by 4 feet, okay?
Okay.
So to get that total amount of cubic feet, okay, because we say cubic and then whatever the unit is in volume,
Okay.
we have to multiply. So we'll take it one step at a time. Do you want to multiply? Which two numbers would you like to multiply first?
I mean, anything with the 2.
Okay,
That's
so
just easy.
let's do 3 times 2, and what do you get?
I get 6.
And now multiply that 6 times 4.
6 times 4 is 24.
Right, so it would be 24 cubic feet. Okay?
What?
Would be how much fits in there.
Why do you call it cubic feet?
Because it has 3 sides and a cube has 3 sides. That's why we say square feet
Oh.
in area, okay? Because it's only 2 dimensions, but the cubic lets you know it's a 3rd dimension. If I said 24 square feet, that would just be the flat side of a square that was 6 times 4, or 12 times 2, or 8 times 3.
Okay.
But when I say cubic feet, it lets you know that it's a 3-dimensional shape. So in your answers, you want to include that cubic, whatever it is. It could be cubic inches, cubic feet, cubic yards, cubic miles.
Okay. So the cubic just tells me that there's 3 dimensions.
Exactly. The cubic lets you know that you're dealing with a 3D measurement.
It's not just flat.
Correct. Square means flat. Cubic means 3 sides.
Ooh,
3 dimensions.
3D.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to try
All
another?
right. I think so.
All right. I'll try another. I'll draw another rectangular prism, and you can tell me the side lengths, and then we'll get the volume of it.
Oh.
Okay? So.
Do I just get to make them up?
Sure, but let me draw it first.
Okay.
I'll make it so it definitely doesn't look like a cube.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll make it come this way.
That's a rectangular prism.
So when you're drawing one of these, you take each corner, okay, and you draw a line in the same exact direction. It doesn't work if you draw one like this. That's not going to be the right shape, okay? They all have to go in the same direction.
Yeah, whenever
Okay.
I try to draw these, they do not look like that.
And then you have the line here, parallel, meaning they line up and they would never touch, to the line above it, and they line up that way. It's not a perfect drawing here, but you get the idea, okay?
That's really great, though.
So what should our width here be?
Well, that's pretty long. Let's say it's 7.
7.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I picked a hard number to multiply.
You'll be all right.
You sure?
You've been doing your times tables a lot.
Okay, all right.
What about our length here?
Well, that one's kind of short. Let's call it 2.
2. Okay, we
Yeah.
call that our width. Our length, our width, and what about our height?
Well,
Height can go down. It's fine.
That one's also kind of short. Can that one be the same? Can that one be 2?
Sure, they can be
Okay.
the same. Okay,
All right.
absolutely. And when it comes to length times width times height, it doesn't really matter what you call what. Just make sure you're not multiplying, because like this side is also 7, right? You don't want to be doing 7 twice.
Oh.
Sometimes they'll give you a drawing like this, and they
Yeah.
want to confuse you. They'll label every side, but this 2 is the same as this 2. You can
Ah!
see they're on the same path diagonally. This 2 is the same as this 2.
Because they're on that same up
Right,
and down
and
one.
this 7 is the same as this 7.
Because
So they're
it's
going to try to.
horizontal.
So what 3 numbers do we need to multiply?
Well, 7
Yeah.
times 2 times 2.
Okay, so I think that if we go 7 times 2, that's going to give you a number that's not on your times table.
Oh, yeah. it'll
So
be
try to
14.
save that for the end. So let's go this
Let's
way.
do 2 times 2 first.
What's that?
That's 4.
That's 4. Then we bring it this way, and what do we get?
Oh, 28.
4 times 7 is
28.
28.
Right?
Okay?
Did I get it?
Yeah, so it would be
I got
28 cubic, whatever we decided the unit was going to be. Is that cubic inches?
Cubic inches.
Cubic inches, okay?
Yeah.
So I like to draw the side, like the 3 sides of the shape to remind me that's what I'm multiplying, and I don't mess with the other
Oh.
3, okay?
That's a good trick.
Right, length times width times height, okay?
Okay.
Let's focus on another way to get volume.
What's that?
Well, it's going to be something called base times height. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back to that.
Whoa.
All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so another way to get volume is something called base times height. Now, this doesn't mean a bass like in a video game.
No.
It doesn't mean like, drop the bass in a song. Okay. This case, base means basically the bottom of something, right? What all this is telling you is that they've already done length times width for you. Okay? The length times width is 12. That's the area of the base. And then you just multiply it by the height. So if they give you the base and they give you the height, they've already done L times W for you. You don't have to do it.
It's like they just replaced L times W with B. Those are the same things.
Yeah. That's all there is to it. So what would the area, I was almost going to say area, the area of the base is 12. What would the volume be?
Well, so looking up there, you have base times height is volume, right?
Yeah.
So I just multiply it.
Yeah.
So 3 times 12 is 36.
36.
36 cubic something.
You can just say cubic units if they're not specified.
Cubic units.
Okay?
That looks like a stick of butter.
It does.
Yeah.
Butter comes in rectangular prism form.
It does.
Yeah. So a lot of things do. like cardboard boxes,
36 cubic butter units.
juice boxes, 36
Yeah.
cubic sticks of butter.
Yeah.
Well, except that butter doesn't come in cubes, so that wouldn't really be a perfect measurement. But,
Yeah, okay.
but if we cut it into cubes and then we use them to measure, that would be
Yeah.
one way to do it. And so another way I want to look at is if the cubes are already drawn for you, and you have to figure out how many of them there are without any
What?
side lengths labeled. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about right now?
No.
Okay, let's take another quick
What
little break,
cubes?
and we'll figure it out. You know
All
what?
right.
I said we're going to take a break. We don't take a break. I'm just gonna go ahead.
Oh, powering through, huh?
Right, so let's say you
Yeah.
needed to figure out the number of cubes there were in
Okay.
something. Because you're going to see shapes like this, and they want to know
Alright.
how many unit cubes are there.
So this is like if I were taking a test and they're like, write how many unit cubes are in the figure below.
Correct.
Okay. There's my figure. Oh, what are you doing? You're
I'm
drawing
making
in cubes.
I am. I'm making it into cubes.
Oh, so it's like if you had a bunch of little cubes and you put them together to make that big rectangular prism.
Ooh, this is a little off.
Well, no biggie. That's all
I just
right.
don't want to do things right,
Yeah.
Okay, so if I were to ask you how many
Okay.
cubes were there, what would you say?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, 20. I see 20 little squares.
So did you count every single square that was here?
Yes.
So that's 9, okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's actually 21.
Oops.
Doesn't matter though, they're both wrong.
Oh.
And so here's why.
What?
You see these 3 dots here? Like
Yes.
these 3 panels?
Now I see them much more clearly.
What are they all part of?
I guess they're all part of that one little sugar cube right there.
Exactly, they're all part of the same cube. So you just counted the faces,
Oh.
but each cube has 6 faces. So what you need to do is
Oh.
create your own length times width times height problem, which is easy. Sounds
Okay.
complicated? It's not. How many
Okay.
across are there?
There's 3 there's 3 across.
Right, I'm gonna do this in green, okay?
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
How many back do we go?
Well, there's 2.
2. How tall is it?
It's 3 cubes tall.
Okay, so now what we need to, now we got our length, our width, and our height. All we need to do is
Oh.
multiply them. What's 3 times 2?
Well, that's 6.
Sure, what's 6 times 3?
18.
There are 18 cubes there. Okay?
Oh.
And so now if you see there's 1 cube here, 2 cubes, 3 cubes, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9. There's 2 groups of 9. One's just behind the other one.
Oh, there's another stack right behind it.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you don't count the faces of the cubes. You've got to count across, back, up, and then
Multiply.
exactly. Don't add. We never add in
Yeah.
volume unless we're adding 2 different shapes. We're going to get into that later.
Right.
We just multiply. Let's do one more of these, and then we'll
Yeah,
call it
because
a
I
lesson.
kind of have to trick my brain to think about
Right.
where all those cubes are.
Okay, so let's do another one.
It's like if I had a bunch of sugar cubes and I stacked them all up.
Let's not give you a bunch of sugar cubes because the last time you did that at the diner when we went to get breakfast, you stacked all the sugar cubes and then you ate them all.
Yep.
And then you screamed sugar rush and caused a scene.
Sugar rush!
Yeah, even though sugar rush is actually a lie, sugar doesn't give you energy.
Well, then what happened to me?
You and many kids out there associate sugar with exciting activities like birthday parties
Going to the diner.
or class parties or going to the diner to get a
Yeah.
big stack of pancakes and waffles.
Yes. And bacon.
So it's like we associate sugar with exciting times like Halloween and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sugar will give you like slight energy boost, but it doesn't make you hyper. That's actually a
Yeah.
myth. Okay?
Oh.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
Next time I'll just scream, diabetes!
Well, that's not nice.
I guess you're right. But isn't that what happens when you eat way too much sugar?
Yeah, but
Some
it's-
people have it without that, I guess.
It's true.
Maybe, I guess, what you're trying to say is just don't yell at the diner, but that's not fun at all.
Well, I think that it is more fun because when I don't have to leave a gigantic tip apologizing to the waiter
You
who's
should always
crying,
leave a gigantic tip.
I always leave a nice big tip, but when I have to tip like 50% because you brought the waiter to tears, then I could spend that extra money on Takis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Fair trade.
you behave yourself in a restaurant, everybody wins. Always be
More
nice to
Takis.
restaurant staff. Never make their lives
Yeah,
miserable.
be nice.
Always. Okay? Now,
Okay.
here, you don't want to count up every single little face on this cube, right? That would take you forever.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a lot more.
Well,
you made that one harder.
Let's get our length and our width and our height. How many across is it?
Well, 4.
4. Okay?
Okay.
So, and now how many back does it go?
1, 2, 3.
3.
3.
And how tall is it?
I can't see your hands.
It's a little bit smushed at the bottom.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. So
Ugh.
now you've got 3 numbers you can multiply.
Tall.
Okay. So if you go 5 times 3, is 15 going to be on your times table?
No.
But what if you go 4 times 3? Is that on your times table?
Yeah, that's 12.
Because it's 12, right? And now you can do 12 times 5. And what do you get?
Hold on, I gotta think for a minute. It's 60.
60. Okay.
12s are hard.
And if
but
you look
5s are
here,
easy.
there's 20 here in the front. Okay. And there's
Okay.
3 groups of them. Because if we did 4 times 5 first, times 3, 20.
So it's like one wall of 20, and then another wall of 20, and then another wall of 20, all smooshed together.
Exactly. You always want to get to your length times width times height formula. Okay. You always want to get there, or base times height, either one. But
Yeah.
you don't want to just sit there counting. If you're counting
Take forever.
like if you're counting every cube instead of just counting across and counting back, then something has gone wrong. So don't do that. Okay.
That'll take me ages.
Yeah. You ready for a recap?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna do a quick recap.
Yes. Recap. Recap it up like dynamite. Yeah.
All right.
Na, dynamite. Volume. I got lots of it. Right?
I would never dispute that. Okay. So, to get volume, you've got multiple ways of doing it, right? You've got length times width times height. Sometimes all 3 of those will be provided for you, and all you need to do is multiply them.
Yeah.
Okay? Or you can do base times height. Base times height means they already did length times width for you.
Yeah.
And then you just need to multiply by the base, okay?
Just that bottom bit.
And then if you have the cubes actually done out for you, remember, don't count all the cubes.
Yeah.
Count the length, count the width, count the height, and then multiply them
Take
together.
the shortcut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it.
No
Right.
way.
Okay?
That volume would be 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 18. 18 cubic.
6 times 2 is 18?
No, you're right. I was wrong. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12.
12.
I've got too much dynamite in my head.
There are 12.
Yeah.
Dynamite
Oh,
in your
man.
head, huh?
Maybe I'll need to practice this.
Yeah, well, you can practice it while you're singing Dynamite. Length times width times height is volume.
Length times width times height is dynamite. No, it's volume.
That's right.
All right, I gotta practice.
That's fine.
It's 12. 12 cubic units of sugar cubes.
Correct you are. Okay.
All right.
You want to go watch some more BTS videos
I
on
want to
YouTube?
eat some sugar too.
No, we're not going to do that, but we can watch more BTS
But
videos.
you said it doesn't actually make me hyper.
That doesn't mean we're going to eat sugar cubes.
Why not?
You're not a horse.
Well, look how long my nose is.
We've established that comes from the flamingo side of your family.
They like sugar cubes.
We're not eating sugar cubes. We got to go. Okay? Bye.
Bye!